I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. I won't do the things I don't believe in. I don't care about impressing your friends. Don't care about fitting in the crowd. I'll say it one time and I'll say it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. I won't do the things I don't believe in. I don't care about impressing your friends. Don't care about fitting in the crowd. I'll say it one time and I'll say it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. You complain about the things I cook. You complain about the way I look. You complain about the clothes I wear. And you don't like my hair. You complain because I don't work. You say I'm a no-good jerk. And then I go to work and you go berserk. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain.
Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile. Come on, let your spirit show. Taking pride in Mobile. We're growing, shining, winning, so we're taking pride in Mobile. We're old, we're young, we're fast and slow, and we love watching our future grow. Let's tell the world so they will know, and we're taking pride in Mobile. And wherever I may go, I'll tell them about Mobile. We're old, we're young, fast and slow, and we love watching our future grow. Let's tell the world so they will know, and we're taking pride in Mobile. And wherever I may go, I'll tell them about Mobile. Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Crash westbound on I-10 on the Bayway, heading toward the Causeway exit, and from the Eastern Shore to the tunnel, it's a 14-minute delay. We still have congestion due to road work in the left lane on I-10 East between the Mississippi-Alabama line and Grand Bay. Watch for a crash Dawes Road at Ben Hamilton Road. Also a stalled vehicle blocking the road in Niceville, Highway 20 at Chippewa Drive.
This report is sponsored by Staples. Staples has hundreds of great ways to boost your brand, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through April 18th and save up to $125 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Uncle Henry, what are we gonna do with all of these nuts calling the show? Huh, Uncle Henry?
Message deleted.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate it. I really do. This show is still a vital, important part of my financial plan. So thank you for continuing to listen to the show. Once again, here we are together, me and you, just the two of us here trying to figure out what is going on with people. What is wrong with people? Something is. What is it? And here we are on a Tuesday, a Mobile City Council day, and I do have coverage of the Mobile City Council meeting for you here on News Radio 710 WNTM, as much as I can stand to bring you, which is a little bit. Just a little bit of it. There was some exciting news for the city of Mobile today at the Mobile City Council meeting. Young Mayor Spiro announced to the citizenry of the city of Mobile, to the taxpayers of the city of Mobile, that they want our help. They want the taxpayers' help, the citizens' help, to help them pick out the new name for the Mobile bus service, the new name for Mobile's public transit. They're gonna get a new. You may remember it was called the Wave or something like that, but now they're changing the name. Let's listen to young Mayor Spiro, and I hope you can hear his enthusiasm. He loved. I know we've had mayors that have understood the importance of having good public transportation, but young Mayor Spiro, very excited. It's almost like when he was growing up, he was never allowed near a bus. And as an adult, he just loves buses. Let's listen.
We get to talk about one of my favorite subjects today, and that is public transit. Just recently, we have released the VIA branding survey for our transit system, and we really need residents and riders to help us shape the future of that system.
So it's a branding survey. They want you to tell them which new name and logo you like for the buses.
As we prepare to launch a redesigned transit system in July, we're inviting Mobilians to help us choose the name and brand. If you'll look up here, we have a few of the slides. This looks like the survey. We're working with our transportation provider, VIA. We developed two strong concepts, that's second line transit and MOGO, which
second line transit or MOGO. Second line transit or MOGO
would be a continuation of some of the work that's been done through the chamber. You're seeing the mock-ups here. There's a QR code there that will allow you to take that survey very quick, very easy. You'll also see links to the survey on the city's social media and in flyers on our Wave buses and at city facilities.
All right, so you can go to the City of Mobile's Facebook and find where you can go and vote for your favorite. Second line transit or MOGO.
It only takes a couple of minutes, and those couple of minutes can help shape Mobile's transit future. The survey will be up through March 27th of this year, so pretty quick time period. If you want to have your voice heard, please scan that QR code, take the survey, let us know what you think.
Isn't that exciting? Isn't it exciting? It's exciting to know that you and I, as citizens of Mobile, could help shape the future of our transit. We could help shape the future by which thing we like. Do we like second line transit or do we like MOGO? Now, when I first heard and saw this, because I know radio, we don't have pictures yet. We're still working on it. We don't have pictures yet in radio, but I looked at the designs. I looked at the MOGO, and for a minute I got real excited because I thought, silly me, I thought it said Mongo. Yeah, I got excited because I thought that it was going to be between Second Line Transit and Mongo. Mongo, the guy that was in, you remember the movie Blazing Saddles? You remember Mongo? He rode into town on a bull.
Mongo only pawn in game of life. Yes. You know, you remember Mongo? He knocked a horse out. He knocked a horse out. He punched a horse.
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
But it was not, unfortunately, it was not Mongo. I guess there's not time for a third choice, because Mongo would be so much fun if you could call it Mongo and then have like a logo of like a bull on there, like in Blazing Saddles. But anyway, it's not Mongo, it's Mogo. Now, you, of course, you have your own free will, allegedly, theoretically, and you can determine which of these names you like better. Second Line Transit, which calls upon the city's rich history of Mardi Gras and Second Line and all that kind of stuff. You got that, Second Line Transit, or you could pick Mogo. And I'm leaning, yes, I'm going to reveal to you how I'm leaning on the new bus name, because I don't believe that Mogo, even though it could save money because it's less letters, and that's the way I think, less letters would save money. But even though it's less letters and could save tax dollars, it's too, unfortunately, Mogo is too mockable. It's just too mockable a name for our public transit. You're going to have people, any name that somebody in middle school or fourth grade can come up with rhymes and things like that and taunts using the name, that's just not good. It's just not good. So, unfortunately, I just think Mogo is too mockable. You could, you'd have people going around saying silly things like, loco hobo, cut me on the Mogo, oh no. Weird, just weird stuff. You don't want that. You don't want people doing that. Or, got behind the Mogo, now it's slow go. You don't want that. You don't want people mocking it like that. And it's just too mock-worthy. Even though, I mean, I'm torn on this because I think you'd save tax dollar because it's less letters. I mean, the ink, if somebody's printing something out somewhere, I mean, just the ink we'd save. And you know how expensive that is. But it is exciting, isn't it exciting? That the citizen, the taxpayer, can help shape the future of Mobile's public transit by picking between Second Line Transit or Mogo. There's more after the break.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
And we have an accident westbound on the Bayway approaching the Causeway exit. Heading from the Eastern Shore to the tunnel in Mobile, it's a 10-minute delay. Still very heavy congestion due to road work on I-10 eastbound approaching Grand Bay Wilmer Road. Also watch for a crash on Dawes Road at Ben Hamilton Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report.
YouTube viewers, hello. I forgot to show behind me because I'm a radio person. I'm not used to being, I've been on TV before, but I'm not used to, I mean, this is a radio studio. I forgot that I could put the picture behind me. There's the Mogo versus the Second Line Transit. I don't know, the designs for the buses, I'm going to withhold judgment and ask others. I know a lot of people in visual design. All right, let me see if anybody's watching this mess. There's a small number, yes, looking in. Hello to Bama Big Man, Ben Griffin. Yes, Ben Griffin is doing it because he's the youngest member of the chat room. Oh no, hit a pothole on the Mogo. Now it's a no-go. Oh no! The Mad Trucker, formerly retired. 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, thank you for looking in. JD. Oh, Claire's watching by her own choice. JD, well, Claire, if you would like to call in and vote for your favorite Second Line Transit or MoGo, feel free to do so. Excalibur 1 X-Force, thank you for looking in on the program. Thank you for watching. Let's see, Sharon at Fairhope, thank you for watching the Uncle Henry Show. All right, let me see. Bama Big Man, I was trying to think there ought to be some name that involves the word ride. And that phrase, but it won't be free. I think they'll charge a nominal fee. They could name it the you get what you pay for ride or something along those lines. We'll have to work on that. You get what you pay for. All right, let's see. What can I share with you? Going to go back on the radio here in the commercial break. Going to be back on the radio here in about 90 seconds. I saw that the Associated Press is reporting that people under the age of 30 are trying to back off from their phones and their computer devices, and these young people under the age of 30 are taking up what they call grandma hobbies, like knitting and needlepoint. I don't believe that. I don't. I think a reporter somewhere had a friend's sister-in-law was doing it, and then it turned into a trend. I don't believe there's a bunch of 27-year-olds out there knitting, unless it's some type of like bong drape or something like that, some type of special, some type of thing that you would hang on the wall and put your vapes in or something. It just doesn't make sense to me that a 27-year-old is knitting. It's not. They're not doing this. This is fake news. Grandma hobbies. That's a form of elder shaming, I think. Oh, I've got to go back on the radio and talk to these people.
Of course, quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at TrueGreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes here on the Uncle Henry Show. If you would like to call the show, if there's something you would like to bring up here, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That is unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. A little bit, I know you'd like a little bit more. Not too much, though. Just a little bit more Mobile City Council coverage. I'll give you just a little bit. Just a little bit. Young Mayor Sparrow. Here's this. This is less than a minute. So even if it irritates you, it's less than a minute. Here is young Mayor Sparrow. He says the city of Mobile is going to start teaching the citizens of Mobile how to handle their money because apparently there's not any parenting going on. Let's listen.
Another exciting thing we have this week to talk about is our Money Moves Boot Camp.
Money Moves Boot Camp, everybody.
So if you're looking for tips on better money management, our Office of Small Business Development and Community Affairs team have the perfect program for you. They're hosting another Money Moves Boot Camp this Saturday, March 14th. It'll be from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. This recurring series helps Mobilians learn more about financial management and support resources that are available right here in Mobile.
Okay.
This particular session will focus on tax preparation, tax returns, building your credit.
So the government is going to tell you how to fill out your taxes. All right. What could go wrong there?
And long-term financial resilience. The program is free, but space is limited. So make sure that you register so you can save your spot. If you want to find more about that program and registration, you can find that at cityofmobile.org. Love that we are teaching financial literacy to our citizens. So I thank the Community Affairs and Small Business team for putting their energy and effort into that.
Isn't it wonderful that we've got the tax dollar to do this? Mobile must be in a true golden age when you can just throw the money around. And at the same time, try to teach people not to throw theirs around. All right, let's see. What else before I drive too many listeners away? Just a little bit more from the Mobile City Council meeting. This is from a lady. She was going to address the council. I forget what she talked to the council about, but as she went up to the microphone, she was chewing some gum. And let's see.
Good morning. Morning. Let me swallow my gum like in class.
All right, so the lady swallowed her gum like in class before she spoke to the council. Isn't that you know what? I'm not wearing a hat, but if I were, hats off to her for not standing there and smacking her gum like some people might do.
Let me swallow my gum like in class.
All right, isn't that something? This is the first time I've had gum swallowing on the audio of gum swallowing on the Uncle Henry Show. So that lady swallowed her gum. She showed respect to the council, and that's all any of us want, isn't it? Is others to be respectful to us. So, thank you to that lady. Now, if you want more coverage of the city council meeting, I'm sure Lamiac, the Lamiac newspaper, has great coverage of it. Also, Fox 10 will have coverage of it. And you can go to YouTube. There were some people upset about a tree that might get cut down. You've got that. You've also got, there was a lady that was very spirited in a discussion that I may have to watch later and find out why she was so spirited. But anyway, all of that available in the City of Mobile's YouTube channel. 251-479-2723, the telephone number to call here on the Uncle Henry Show. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let me go to a different topic other than the City Council. Yesterday, had a call from someone claiming to be Pat Nelly that I played on the show. And he was critical of the Postal Service. And he talked about packages not getting to his house. I received this may be a rebuttal.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Snake Trapper. Hey, man, I was listening to your show yesterday afternoon, Uncle Henry, and some fella claiming to be Pat Nelly called in complaining about the post office or the Postal Service. I do not believe that was the real Pat Nelly, Uncle Henry.
Really?
And I'll explain why. I've had the honor and privilege of meeting Mr. Pat Nelly and having extended conversations with him on many different occasions, Uncle Henry. Now, that imposter was pretty good, but he blowed his cover, Uncle Henry, when he was talking about how the post office was getting worser and worser and worser. Uncle Henry, the real Pat Nelly wouldn't have said that. He would have just said, keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But anyway, Uncle Henry, I know that the real...
And by the way, I'm pausing here to just say this is almost like... this was like overhearing an episode of Columbo, isn't it? Where he's explaining how he caught the killer. You know, the reason I caught you, sir, is because you... This is like listening to Columbo talk. Snake Trapper you know, you might want to think about helping law enforcement from time to time solve some cases.
Pat Nelly is a highly intelligent, very successful businessman, and that imposter is pretty good, Uncle Henry, because it sounds a lot like him, but it definitely wasn't him, Uncle Henry. So I don't know who's trying to hijack his body or his voice. I think it may be that excited caller guy, the one that has a IQ the size of a rock, and a brain the size of a field pea. But it definitely wasn't the real Pat Nelly, Uncle Henry. His vocabulary is very articulate. So it definitely, I don't think he would ever use a word like worser. Uncle Henry, I don't know why. I guess I'd love to be as smart and as bright and intelligent as the real Pat Nelly. So that would be a reason somebody would want to try to pretend to be him. And not only that, I don't judge men on their looks, but the real Pat Nelly is a good-looking fella, too. You take care, my buddy.
All right. Well, thank you, Snake Trapper. I guess showing off his extensive knowledge of some other caller to the Uncle Henry Show. And using his human deductive abilities to determine whether it was someone, was it the real caller or not, and not using some type of computer software or AI program to determine the authenticity of the caller. So this is an example of guaranteed human in the age of AI and all the garbage you see online that's created AI. Guaranteed human with the Snake Trapper. There's more. There's plenty more to get to on the Uncle Henry Show after the news break.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design.com Traffic Center.
Still a stalled vehicle blocking the road, Chippewa Drive at Highway 20 in Niceville. Very slow due to road work in the left lane on I-10 eastbound approaching Grand Bay Wilmer Road. Got an accident, Dawes Road at Ben Hamilton Road. An accident is on the shoulder now west on the Bayway approaching the Causeway. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you.
Take a pill.
12 hours. Don't let those aches and pains hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. For just the second time, Governor Kay Ivey spared an Alabama inmate from execution. She's commuted the death sentence of 75-year-old Charles Sonny Burton, who was set to die Thursday by nitrogen gas for a 1991 capital murder in Talladega. Burton was not the gunman in that robbery, and the man accused of pulling the trigger already had his own death sentence reduced to life without parole. Governor Ivey says she still supports the death penalty, but couldn't in good conscience execute Burton, while the trigger man lives out his life in prison. Public pressure, protests, a petition, and the victim's daughter all push for clemency. A traffic alert in Mobile. Police are working a single vehicle crash on I-10 West, just past the I-65 interchange, after a car left the road and went into Dog River. Police say the driver got out on their own, and they're expected to be okay. Now you might see some delays while crews work the scene, and a dive team pulls that car from the water. At least one westbound lane is closed. Mobile police say a juvenile male is now under arrest in the February 21st shooting during the Terrace Motorcade Parade. He's charged with 2 counts of shooting into an unoccupied vehicle and 7 counts of reckless endangerment after 2 empty cars were hit by gunfire. Investigators say a second person who fired was acting in self-defense, so that person will not face charges. No one was hit by the gunfire. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeartRadio station.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm Ann Carrick. Oil prices went up following the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran and then went down from their peaks of more than $100 per barrel. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt claims Americans should not be worried.
A recent increase in oil and gas prices is temporary, and this operation will result in lower gas prices in the long term.
With reports of possible mines placed in the Strait of Hormuz by Iran, President Trump again is warning of military consequences at a level never before seen. Posting on social media, the president says he has no reports of mines, but if they are there, he wants them removed immediately, adding removal would be a giant step in the right direction. Trump also warns the U.S. is using the same technology and missile capabilities deployed against drug traffickers. America is listening to Fox News.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. The Uncle Henry Show is in a commercial break. Going to be back on the radio in less than 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes. Let me take a look and see if viewers are still watching. Let's see. There is Richard Harvey. Very crafty. Someone claiming to be Pat Nelly online. Norman Richardson, Azure in two-time, whatever that is. Thank you for looking in on the program. I appreciate very much you looking at the Uncle Henry Show. Going to be back on the radio here in less than 2 minutes. Let me see if there's anything I can tell you about. I was looking in the weird news file, and I did find some real weird stuff. Let's see, in the dumb criminal file, in Washington State, a motorcycle rider fled from deputies last week and got tracked down by a canine after he got rid of his motorcycle, and then as they started tracking the man, the dog began following a trail, not just to smell, but he found the man's jacket. Then the dog found the man's backpack, then the man's pants, then the man's shoes. The man then cleared several tall fences and then hid under a tarp. A lot of work just to get caught.
And we're here to help you. At Seniors Helping Seniors, we offer compassionate, short-term caregiving support, whether your loved one is traveling with you or staying at home. From personal care, medication reminders, to simple companionship, we're here to help.
Call 251-202-2248 for Seniors Helping Seniors, or visit shsgulfcoastal.com.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. You can also hear me on FM radio playing country music on 95 KSJ Monday through Friday between 10 and 2. This week on 95 KSJ, your chance to win tickets to see Bailey Zimmerman. Bailey Zimmerman's going to be at the Wharf Friday, March 27th. Listen to Shelby each afternoon this week for your chance to win tickets to see Bailey Zimmerman. Telephone number here is 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, yesterday, before I get into any other topics or news items that I would like to discuss with you, yesterday, longtime caller Cliff called in, and we wished a very happy birthday to Cliff's lovely wife, Denise. Cliff's wife, a wonderful, wonderful person. I've spent some time with her, as has my wife. We love Cliff's wife, Denise, and wished her a very happy birthday. But it was also another caller's wife's birthday yesterday, and I forgot to wish that caller's wife a happy birthday. So if you don't mind, real quickly here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Cindy Phillips, wife of Bama Big Man.
Happy birthday to you.
So happy birthday to Cindy Phillips, who lives out Lot Roadway, very proudly. And happy birthday to any person that is celebrating their birthday, not just yesterday, but today. In fact, let me look in the famous birthday list for today. If you are born today, you share a birthday with Carrie Underwood. You may remember her from American Idol many years ago. Sharon Stone, one of the most disgusting actresses who became famous for opening her crotch on camera. Do you remember this? It was a horrible, horrible sensation caused in cinema when Sharon Stone was in this major motion picture and was just opening up the crotch there and just disgusting, sensationalizing an entire generation. It's terrible. She's 68 years old today. And if you were born on this date, you share a birthday with Chuck Norris. What a great person to share a birthday with, Chuck Norris. Now, I remember seeing a Chuck Norris movie. I can't remember of the name of the movie, but it was a Chuck Norris movie, and I saw it at the Village 6. Do you remember the Village 6 on Bel Air Boulevard in Mobile? I went and saw this Chuck Norris movie, and the only thing I remember from the movie, because it was many years ago, and I've had to delete things out of my head to remember new things, and I didn't have time. I didn't have any room left in my head for the details on the plot of the Chuck Norris film. But I do remember that some bad guys beat him up and buried him in his truck or something. And I think there's a scene where he drives out of his own grave. Yes. Which I would want to share my birthday with someone capable of driving out of their own grave. So Chuck Norris. By the way, Chuck Norris, 86. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Before I get to other voicemail or get a call from some wonderful person here, I saw a news item today that sounded fake, but I believe is real, because it was well, depending on the newspapers it's in, it's hard to tell if it's fake or real. But this sounds so absolutely mad scientist to me. Listen to this. There is a company out in California called Reflect Orbital, and they are seeking a federal license. They want to put 4,000 satellites in space. 4,000. Have you heard of this company, what they're going to do? They want to put really large, extremely reflective mirrors on these 4,000 satellites so that they say they want to beam sunlight down to specific areas of planet Earth at night. The company says their idea is sunlight on demand. Yeah, they want to put 4,000 mirrors up in the sky, up in space, and then be able to light up your neighborhood or light up your town with daylight at nighttime. Now they say that, let's see, they say what would you use it for? Well, the one way they would make money is to light up outdoor events. So if you wanted to who knows how much something like that would cost. But they say that they could also use it to help solar farms generate power after the sun goes down, that they could use the technology to illuminate a disaster zone like after a hurricane. They could light up our sky after a hurricane. They say they could extend the growing season for crops. Now, can you, when you heard this, now, see, I didn't think of any of the positive applications of this. I only thought of how you could turn this into a weapon. This just sounds like a horrible idea. I hope the governments, whoever is in charge of giving them a yes or a no, gives them a hard no on this. The idea of doing this just sounds like, in fact, who knows? If it works, maybe governments around the world are already copying it and are going to launch their own satellites so that they can do it to their enemies. But we've gotten, now that it's going to be easier and easier to get into space. I know that sounds bizarre, but we've watched Elon Musk, parallel parking rockets and stuff. It's going to get easier to get up there. And then we're going to have to be very careful what they put up there. We got to be. Somebody is going to want to build the Death Star. In fact, if it gets much easier to go up there, the governments are going to want to build the Death Star. We're going to be in big trouble if one day some country like Venezuela says, yeah, we don't have much of an army, but guess what? We got some space mirrors. Look out for the space mirror. We're going to have to be very careful with this. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry.
LD, are you retired?
Not really. Not
All
really.
right, LD, the at-large citizen. You're live on the radio.
Yep. Been yelling at people all day long to sit down and shut up. So I got a sore throat, Uncle Henry. But I was thinking, that's a pretty good idea, using the sunlight. What do you think about using your mother to block it out?
No, you freak! That's so dadgummit! I had a legitimate concern. This was a legitimate concern about a new weapon of mass destruction that could be created where they'd send the mirrors up in space and then heat us up, burn us, turn it into like a death ray, and you want to you come up with this concept that my mother would be large enough to block a death ray that she would have enough physical flab to block a death ray from space? Please, Lord, drive the demon out of LD. All of you listeners, please pray for the demon to be driven out of LD into some nearby swine or other, possum or armadillo or something. Get it out of him.
Still a stalled vehicle blocking the road, Chippewa Drive at Highway 20 in Niceville. Very slow due to road work in the left lane on I-10 eastbound approaching Grand Bay Wilmer Road. Got an accident, Dawes Road at Ben Hamilton Road. An accident is on the shoulder now west on the Bayway approaching the Causeway. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. I apologize for my outburst. I really did. I apologize. I should have better. It's been going on now long enough that I ought to just learn to just talk for an hour and just not go to the phones. Or maybe I could just hire people to call. I'm not going to use AI. All right, let's see. What can I tell you? I'm going to be back on the radio in about 4 minutes. I got about 4 minutes before I go back on the radio. Let me see. What can I tell you? All right, there's a company in Alabama, Unclaimed Baggage. They buy and resell lost airline luggage, and every year around this time, they release a report on the strangest things that are found in luggage that were never claimed. And they are out with this year's list of weird things that was found in luggage that was never claimed. On the list, a fully assembled robot with working joints and electric motors. They also found a powered prosthetic knee that was in clinical testing. They also found a 10-carat diamond grill set. That is a different lifestyle than I've lived. That I would travel with a 10-carat diamond grill set and then not claim it. Just not even try to claim it. Also, they found a meteorite fragment that fell to Earth in 1576. Left in the luggage. Who would leave their meteorite behind? They also found equipment used for fire dancing. They found a beekeeping suit. They also found a suitcase that was packed entirely with rat poison and nothing else at all in it. The most commonly lost items, though, were clothes. All right, let's see. Going to be back on the radio in about 90 seconds. Let me look. I may share a voicemail when I go back on the air. I need to check the voicemail inbox. Okay, I have a weird one. Yeah, I've got a really weird one to share. All right, back on the radio here in less than a minute. You know, I could always just share more city council garbage on the show. And that could be my penance for not coming up with a better way of dealing with these terrible prank callers.
I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith of this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Brad vs. Everyone podcast.
Dangerous social media trends, media scandals, dumb TikTok boycotts, and more. Keep up with all the online stories mainstream media ignores by listening to the Brad vs. Everyone podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app, now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTN, an iHeartRadio station.
The Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes and then more Uncle Henry Show. In fact, after the news break, I want to share with you, I've got some more from the Mobile City Council meeting I want to share with you on the show after the news break, after 6 o'clock. There was the Poet Laureate of Mobile has a new poet laureate, and he was at the city council meeting today, and I'll share with you what he had to say. But don't get your hopes up. I don't believe there was any rhyming. I don't think we got an actual poem, but Mobile now has a poet laureate, and we will. I'll share that with you after the top of the hour here on the Uncle Henry Show. Let's see. And since I mentioned the city council meeting. Very briefly, I've got a little bit more of young Mayor Spiro from the council meeting saying that if you want to adopt a dog in Mobile, now is the time.
Oh, gosh. This one Lucy probably doesn't need to hear, but we want you to come adopt one of our puppies. My family is lobbying very strongly for us to be able to, but we got one last person to convince. But our animal services department has an immediate need for dog adoptions due to what is a seasonal influx of puppies. Spring is in the air. It's common for all shelters when the temperature rises in the spring, and the need for adoptions is only expected to grow over the coming weeks. So our animal services team and volunteers, they continue to do an amazing job, not just with these puppies, but the older dogs that they take care of, but they truly need your help. Space is limited, and we want to be sure we're serving the animals of our city well, and we're asking your help for that. So if you've been thinking about adding a furry friend to your family, like I have, now is the perfect time to do it. And to help facilitate easier adoptions, the shelter is waiving all of its fees for approved adoption applicants. To see more and to see all of the adoptable pets, you can visit animalservicesmobile.com. That's animalservicesmobile.com.
All right, very good. I hope they get lots of good homes for them dogs. And before I leave, briefly, I'll get back into the council meeting after 6 o'clock. But before we leave the council meeting topic, I would like to hear one more time the lady at the council meeting swallowing her gum.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let me swallow my gum like in class.
All right, so and she was doing that again to show respect to the council. She didn't want to address the council chewing gum. And if all of us could be that good of a citizen and show each other the common courtesy and respect, what a wonderful, wonderful world we would live in. All right, let's see. Before I'm out of time in this segment of the Uncle Henry Show, yesterday I shared with you a voicemail from longtime caller Buford. And Buford told an odd story about using fire as self-defense. And he talked about how he once saw a meth head get attacked by another meth head, or a meth head was trying to rob somebody, another meth head, and the meth head he was trying to rob happened to be holding a Gatorade bottle full of gasoline and a cigarette. And Buford said that the guy that was the guy ended up throwing the gasoline on the robber and flicking his cigarette on the robber. Well, Buford did call in to let me know what happened. What happened when the guy put the gasoline and the cigarette on that guy.
Henry, in case you're wondering, the meth head that was set afire, he lived. Matter of fact, he ran around for a while, tried to deny himself medical care. But Henry, it takes a lot more than being set on fire or being electrocuted to kill a meth head. I tell you what, they have superhuman abilities to survive dangerous situations that just boggle the mind. Anyway, Henry, all well that ends well. Those meth heads continued on living their meth head life, getting into more meth head adventures and having more meth head troubles. Anyway, Henry, you have a good day.
Oh, okay. Well, a happy ending then. Thank you, Buford. Thank you for letting me have a happy ending to that story. I remember when that was a big deal when the whole meth thing was moving through the community in the, this would have been, was it the early 2000s? I remember getting phone calls from people in the construction industry that said that they enjoyed working with the meth heads because the guys would come and they would do excellent work and they would work just hours and hours and hours and hours, and then like 4 or 5 days in, they'd just disappear. I'm glad we don't have as many as we used to, because it's a sad thing what it can do to a person. It really is sad. There's more to come. We're going to get into the poet laureate for the city of Mobile. I'm sure that there's not a dime being spent on that.
Fox News Podcasts.
On a recent episode of Everyone Talks to Liz Klayman, Liz discussed the fashionable fitness gear movement with Bala founders Natalie Holloway and Max Kislevitz, whose wrist weights were in high demand.
All right, YouTubers, tomorrow, city council people will be here. Right now, though, turning off the camera. More show on AM radio. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow.
February 28th of 2020. 2 weeks later, so we had already sold out of our inventory because of this massive media moment. 2 weeks later, the world did shut down. And so we had this Shark Tank moment coupled with everybody's looking for weights and they're sold out like across the country. And now all of a sudden people are learning about Bala and